welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on a lockdown Wednesday here in Melbourne. Of course, let's turn our attention now to football and, of course, speak with one of our favourite footy teams in the BAFTA competition. Of course, that is the South Melbourne Districts Football Club. And, of course, we've got two very special guests join us right now. We've obviously another one coming a bit later on. They join us right now to tell us a bit about how the season's gone up to up to last week. They join us right now. Thanks, both, for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
I'll get both of you to introduce yourselves and tell us a bit about the season so far up to this point.
I'll go first then. I'm Alex. I'm co-coach and player this year. Season so far, it's been interesting. It's been going really well. We've got a lot of new girls, so a lot of development happening this year, which is nice to see everyone improving.
I'm next. My name's Tara. I'm one of the captains in the leadership team at South Melbourne Districts. As Alex said, we've had a very interesting start to the season, a little bit turbulent in our pre-season, but it's and we're not overly successful with wins on the board. We are seeing a lot of development, which is excellent. It's a bit of a tale of two cities in our club at the moment, with some really great experienced players and helping pull up the new girls that are coming through. So it's an exciting time.
So my name is Sophia. I'm also part of South Melbourne Districts and part of the leadership group as well. This year has been, a bit unexpected, I would say, but always hopefully feeling that the progression is being made, and that we're learning throughout as the games go through as well.
Obviously a bit of a pause in the season. Obviously didn't play last weekend, won't be playing this weekend either, due to obviously the extended lockdown. So what has the team been doing this past week and obviously now into next week with no train at all until hopefully Friday?
It's been really good. I set them a running program, which I'm very pleased to say so many people have done, which is fantastic. They're all posting what they've been up to. I've got a lot of girls that live quite close to each other, so there's a lot of people catching up for their exercise outside, working on some skills and running with each other, which is really good to see, and lots of different people mixing that haven't normally, so they're using it as a really good opportunity to get to know each other outside of training as well.
And how's the morale like around the team, especially now? Obviously got announced that we're going to be at home for another week.
Oh, I can go. It's actually, obviously we're very disappointed. It's really like we've just come back to playing and we're all ready to get back out there, and but we're still holding together. I think because it's just one week and just one more week. I think if they add another week, we might be a bit sad, but we're doing pretty well. Yesterday, Alex and our other coach, Robbo, put together a mid-season review, and we had a real sit down and thinking about, both our strategy that we've had moving into the first part of the season and how we're playing that out, who's doing what in which roles. So we are keeping the positive foot forward and still working towards, the end of the year.
And as Alex was saying before, it's been really helpful that they've developed a plan that we can sort of keep following during lockdown as well. So we have heaps of fitness and stuff that we can catch up on.
Yeah, I think it's great that our girls are really looking after each other. Everyone lives so close. There's so many apartment building. If you're not familiar with South Melbourne and St Kilda Road and Albert Park, it's all very apartment heavy. So we're all on top of each other, definitely within the 5 kilometers, if only 50 meters for some of us. So it is quite good that we can catch up for those runs. And sometimes, just before I got in here, I had one girl message me asking me how it was going. So we are looking after each other and in making sure that we're getting through this mentally as well as physically.
Halfway stage of the year, obviously you'll hopefully get to catch up on the 2 games that you've missed out the last 2 weeks. Without giving too much away, is there still that hope that you can push towards the finals?
I think at this stage, with the record as it is, that's not necessarily the aim this year. I think the aim for this year is to get a couple more wins at least, and to just get that extra development into the girls, and start looking at improvements and what we can do for next year. It's kind of pretty key.
Now, tell us the couple players in the team that's had a fantastic season so far, other than Tara and Sophia.
Obviously, we'll start with the best. No, I'm kidding. Look, as I said earlier, it's been a real tale of two cities in our team, because we do have this really strong cohort of players that have been played together for years. They've come of age in the sport together, and they're just guns. And you can name like several. And Rowie, our head captain, she's just every game smashing it. She plays anywhere she's asked to because she's just such a utility player, but typically in the midfield. Sophia I always love playing with Sophia because she's just there all the time. I'm slow and she just zips straight past me. It's fabulous. And then outside of sort of the captains group, we've got a few girls that have, again, excellent experience. Claire in the backfield is amazing. And Amanda, who has come from American football, she's such a gun in the back line as well. And then when we think about the new players, I'm one of those people now, maybe because I'm a bit older, I really get a kick out of watching the girls who, have stepped onto the football field, may not have played football before, may never have played contact sport before, let alone like netball, and watching those girls, so nervous in their first game and then just flourish and grow. So there's, a couple of outstanding girls. Alex brought along her colleague, Alana, who is this gorgeous little meek, and on the field is just such a monster, and it's fabulous just to see her, shine in what I suspect she never thought she would shine in a sport like that. I don't know, girls, do you have any other standout players?
Well, I was going to say, with what you were saying with some of the girls that weren't that confident, that we had a few that were coming to pre-season never expecting to actually want to play a game. Like, they were just there for pre-season and the fitness and camaraderie. And then, we've approached them and said, okay, you ready to play a game? And they've come out and absolutely smashed it.
Yeah.
So it's fantastic to see.
Now, how did all three get involved in footy, and why did you choose it?
A great coincidence. I was meant to be playing soccer just across the street from where we train, and I couldn't find my soccer mates. So I started looking at this training that was happening across the street, and at South Melbourne, they were holding an academy during 2018, and they were basically teaching you everything. So how to play and all the skills and how to develop yourself. And that was the day that it was starting. So ever since, they were not able to get rid of me after that.
We're stuck with her. Alex, your story?
Well, I started playing back in 2005 with the then Deakin Devils. Found them at a university open day and joined, played there for about 4 years until I had to have a couple of operations, and then uni and everything got in the way. And then when South Melbourne started looking for a women's team in 2016, at the end of 2016, I came along to the first meeting when they were talking about setting up a team, and have been there ever since.
Yeah. I'm not too dissimilar from Alex. I played a while ago in high school, a few games, a wee bit in high school. In my 20s, I found American football and loved it. I played running back and receiver at the Western Crusaders team and absolutely loved it. I at training got hit by two Samoan girls, so smashed my ankle. And a week before the preseason, couldn't play anymore. And I don't know if your listeners know much about American football, but the preseason is just as hard as the bloody season. So I was absolutely devastated to never make that season. And I think the second I was out of that bloody cast on my ankle, I got a Facebook message to say South Melbourne districts were recruiting. That was in the 2017 season. So the first season, was it 2017, Alex? Yeah. So halfway through the season, I waltzed in and said, look, I'd like to play. And again, I remember that first training session being like, oh, I've just had a little ankle injury. I'll be fine. And I remember like driving home that night because I just went hard because I was so excited to be playing contact sport again. My ankle was like shaking in the drive home. Like, I have made a mistake, but I actually had not. I love this team, and it's been such a pleasure to be around this club and been there ever since.
Now, Tara, before we came on for this interview, now you did play last year up in Queensland for the team that I actually interviewed like that year, who actually won the premiership. Funny enough, wearing very similar colours to what you are wearing right now.
Similar.
Of course, similar, because that's the Cairns Saints. Of course. Now, how special was it for you to play for that team that last year, and knowing that they won the premiership, even though I believe you weren't part of that grand final side?
No, I was sitting in hotel quarantine in Cairns because at that stage you had to go to hotel quarantine between Victoria and Queensland. And I just thought, I want to play footy. One of the other girls we'd played with the season prior was also in Cairns. So I just called her and I said, this Cairns Saints team looks great. I'll give them a call. I didn't know. And they were amazing. They definitely, like, I just called them up and they said, oh, can you get here Saturday? And I was like, no, I'm in hotel quarantine. See you next week. But they were amazing. They were so welcoming. The team was incredible. I was just so I was so happy and privileged to be named on the team when I was. The girls up in Cairns, they're just incredible players. Like, they're different style of footy as well, very, up in the air, and they're fit as just anything. And I'm in my 30s now. I feel like a plodge out there. So it was such a privilege, and they deserved that win. They worked really hard for it, and to be a part of that team for that season was really special. And I definitely like to consider that I helped for that grand final win, even in that little bit.
So I need to ask Tara and Sophia this question then. What position did both of you play on the field? And if you had a preferred position, we like to convince your coach, Alex, to put you, be very careful how you answer this question. Where would that be?
Well, if you're not taking my spot, it's fine.
Go on, Sophia.
Okay. So I'm actually playing midfield now. And it's a position I quite enjoy playing. I get to be around the ball and just chasing and tackling and just getting away with the ball as much as I can. And actually, I enjoy my position so far. So maybe I would like to try, I think wing maybe could be an option.
Didn't you want to play forward so you can kick a few goals?
Yeah, that too.
I actually play lots of positions on the field. And the trend has been sort of start in that centre half, back line, and then move into the midfield onto the wing as a more defensive wing. However, Alex knows this, and I have been asking for it for a while, but this petite 5'2" frame would love to be a fullback. I just think it would be a great position for me.
So Alex, I need to ask you then, how long has Tara been asking you this?
I think since you started.
Fair enough. Now I have to ask this one as well. What does the sport of football mean to all three of you, and especially being there at South Melbourne Districts?
Well, it means a lot. Like, it's basically outside of work, it's what I spend most of my time and effort doing. And yeah, I've loved my time at South Melbourne. I think we're all having a very interesting year, but it's really good to develop all together. And the way that the girls have come together and get along, and as well, the club itself seems to be like we're coming together really well this year, like with the men's as well. The camaraderie and helping each other out. Like, we go to the men's games and they volunteer for us. It's just been a really good year, and I think it's only going to get better.
Well, for me, in terms of like, footy is what I enjoy spending my energy on the most. The reason behind it, it's because sort of the philosophy behind the sport, it's something that I found in footy that I didn't find in any other sport that I played before. Because of everything that you can do on the field and what gets acknowledged, and the fact that we're always cheering for each other, it's really about what's best for the team. So you become sort of part of this unit sort of thing. And I think it's just, as I said before, about the philosophy and coming together as a team and as a group and supporting each other. And that's something I quite enjoy about football in general.
Yeah, I think I'd like to echo both Sophia and Alex there, and really say that, as much as footy is about the physicality and getting all my stress out and being the only place in the world where I can legally hit people and I really do get around the club's camaraderie. I think it was you, Sophia, we were talking about it a few weeks ago, where, how privileged we are to play for a club that is so, we are so supportive of each other. We're not nipping at each other. Sometimes you play against teams who are like, they're fighting amongst each other and like, you didn't do this right, and get up off the, like all of that sort of really nastiness. We don't have that at all in our club. We're so supportive of each other. And an example of that was in the 2018 season, my father had a brain surgery and didn't go all that well. And, I found it really hard to just go about my day-to-day life, and to have the club to go to as an anchor point. It was probably the thing that helped me get through the most in that really dark period of my life. So I owe so much to the club and how it's helped me through those times, and then even through the positive times as well. So I couldn't think of a better place to be.
Following on from those response, how special is to be part of the leadership group for Tara and Sophia, and obviously for you, Alex, as a coach?
I was really shocked when Robbo gave me the call and said, "Hey, we'd like you to be a leadership in the leadership team." I am not the best player on the field by far. I probably only, don't get dropped every game because I am in the leadership team. But Alex is shaking her head, but who knows? I was really shocked, but and I was a bit nervous. I just accepted a new job role, a promotion at work that was, managing people at work, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to go from managing people at work to managing people in the field? And but it's been a pleasure. The girls are amazing. They learn, they're like sponges. They learn from everything, especially those girls we were talking about earlier who are new and excited. So to be a part of the team as it's in a development phase and leading it, it does feel a very special part of my life.
Myself, I was quite shocked as well. Kind of couldn't believe it when I got the call either. And I was a bit nervous too. And then I thought to myself, well, the reality is that the only thing I need to do is just go there and be myself and try to share that sort of positivity and team spirit that it's, I think it's a trait of me. And then as Tara was saying before, when you get the response from the girls on and off the field as well, it's natural and it becomes organic sort of thing. So it's quite, rewarding as well.
I must say, when Sophia's on the field and you've done something good and she's like, yes, Tara, you've got it. And you just like, it just fills me with so much joy. Like, I'm like, I did it.
Well, for me, I've been, with the club for quite a while and assistant coach from the start. And it's just been great seeing everyone progress and seeing, like these girls that are on the call now, like they both came in as like with no AFL background and now they're leaders of a club. Like it's just really, it's really nice to be part of a club where you can develop people, and also kind of seeing the things that these girls have to offer that they might not necessarily see, like them being shocked about being given a leadership position. Like they obviously don't see what we're seeing, or at that point. So just to develop those things as well, and being part of a club where everyone's so open to feedback, and it's just been really good.
Now, I have to ask this question as well, which is, what would be your advice to people out there once we get our lockdown to get involved down with the South Melbourne District football team?
Oh, give us a call. We'll take anyone. No, I think we've sold the club really well tonight in the sense that, we're passionate about footy and we love getting out there and getting dirty on the weekends, but we're also we're a super supportive bunch, and sometimes I wonder how, like, we're kind of a mash together of different cultures and flavors, and we come from different walks of life, and I think that's what makes us, we're super diverse, and that's what makes us such a great place to be. So I'm sure Alex can share the details, but we're on Instagram and I think we're on Facebook, so and
6:15 Tuesday and Thursday.
There you go.
From my experience, I would like to add as well that I met, some of my best friends at the club as well. So I think, that says everything.
Now, let's turn our attention to finishing off the interview with a couple of lighthearted questions about the team. Now, firstly, who had the most embarrassing moments on the field this season, and what was it?
Can we go past Robbo's kids running onto the oval?
Or Robbo asking a lady in a wheelchair if we could borrow her wheelchair to get a player off the field.
I don't know if he asked it. I don't know if he asked. I think she offered.
No, he asked and she was like, okay. I was like, Robert, you can't ask that.
She gave it up willingly.
She was amazing.
Sorry, I've got to ask this as a follow-up question to that. Did she get her wheelchair back?
Yes, I think so. She's one of the girls. She's one of the girls' grandmas. She's at the games regularly with her wheelchair.
Fair enough. I thought I'd better check just in case. Now, who's the comedian in the team?
I'd like to say mine.
Give that one to Rowie.
Yeah, I was thinking Rowie.
Yeah.
She's always on fire.
After a few beers,
And you
Just
can't
one
go
or
past
two.
that laugh either.
No, it's very infectious, and she's always talking, which is fabulous.
Now, any good singers or dancers we should know about?
Oh, well, that's Rowie, especially after a few beers. Singing, dancing, hanging from banisters. I don't
Anything new games.
know.
Is anyone on the team into their TikToks? And is anyone good at TikTok?
Well,
I'm too old for TikTok.
Libby is a dance teacher, and she was learning TikToks throughout the first lockdown so that she could teach them for her kids. So I don't know if she's ever recorded or published one, but she definitely knows how to do a few.
I reckon Shanae probably is on the TikTok, and she'd be very funny. Now I'd like to take the comedian one back and give it to Shanae, because she has some cracking one-liners.
Yeah, true.
Now, I have to ask, do either of you have a pre-game superstition or ritual?
I sleep with the ball.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Maybe we should all start doing that.
maybe it'll help. No, I always have mountain bread written on my arm, and that's for my dad, who is the biggest fighter I know. So it's nice to take him out in the field and show that country spirit.
A weird one. It's more just something that I like to eat before a game. Probably not particularly the best thing ever, but a couple of years ago, I didn't have anything to eat. I had a blueberry bagel, and in that game, I kicked 3 goals. So ever since then, I have a blueberry bagel before.
That's not too bad. That is not too bad. I've
I feel
heard
like
worse.
it's carbs and stuff, so it's good. And it's light enough to like run around with, but carby enough to keep you going.
I agree with that. I do agree with that one. Now, any good nicknames in the team?
We're a bit light on nicknames. I have been trying to get Alana's nickname of Rhino going, but we'll have to push on for that one.
I think, I was trying to get Anya to be known as Viking, because she's got that Swedish, gorgeous ancestry and such a Viking on the field. But no, it's not sticking. So one girl, we had a few Nicolas, so we had to start making people have nicknames. And one girl's name, I don't even know what her surname is, but we now call her Serge, which is based on her surname. So
and we had a few M's. So we've got a Hammer, because there was MC Hammer.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're a bit light on them. Sorry.
Yeah, light on nickname. Something we need to work on for next year, I think.
Okay. I might ask that one next year then on that one. Now, I know with footy clubs at times have a fine system. Do you have a fine system? And if so, number one, who's copped the most fines and what's the weirdest fine?
Oh, we have a fine system.
Yeah. Tom's been the most because she shows up late.
Last season, we fined a girl for going on a Tinder date with another girl's brother and just left it at that. It was good.
Yeah,
Last year I got fined for playing the drums in a game as well.
I've never heard of getting a fine for to someone going out with her on a Tinder date. There you go. Does the team have a pump-up song before a game?
Sophia's smiling because she knows what the answer is.
No. I like to play Jennifer Lopez and Let's Get Loud before the game.
It's honestly watching Sophia and we've got another girl from where's Paula from?
Colombia.
Colombia. So Sophia's obviously from Argentina. Am I right? Yeah. So, and they're wild, these girls. And it's so amazing watching them dance around. And one time they were doing a song with obviously like a soccer song or something. And I was pumped up just being around them. I was like, teach me the song. So it's so infectious when Jennifer Lopez hits the club rooms because Sophia's dancing around. And I'm like, oh, it's so exciting.
Okay, so Alyssa, I might have to come before the game as well, by the sounds of it, to see these dance moves that you've got, Sophia. And we'll finish up with this last one as well, which is at training. Has anyone done any embarrassing moments at training?
Robbo's been fined for rolling a ball, which ended up dislocating one of the players' fingers. I don't know if that's embarrassing. And
Actually, I'd like to change our answer about who gets the most fines, actually, because it's definitely Robbo. Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of anything. We're so serious. We take the football so seriously. This is why we're such an excellent club.
Well, all three, thank you so much for getting up your time to join us. We can't wait to hopefully get back out there to Albert Park and hopefully do the interview in person this time around instead of doing this over Zoom. And let's hope we can get our lockdown hopefully next week, hopefully in time for the resumption of the second half of the season.
Thanks so much for having us.
26 as well. We're looking to have our Pride round as well down at Albert Park. So, yeah, fingers crossed we can be back in time for that. It's going to be a big day.
We will.
Thanks so much for having us.
No worries. And that's because Alex, Tara and Sophia, they're joined from the South Melbourne District women's football team. And of course, if you want to get down to Albert Park, one of the best venues to play football, of course, you can, we'll put all the details up on how you can go about getting involved with this amazing team down there at South Melbourne. There's more on the Smash Sport Show right after this. Don't go away here on the 10th year celebration.